Hello, CFA Nation, Gabe, and I'm here to bring you guys another IPL overview, this time for the Punjab Kings. Now, I'm wearing my burgundy, wearing my West Indies hat because they got some of my favorite West Indies players, the Universe Boss. But before we get to the Universe Boss, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What's with the name change? Can anybody tell me why they changed their name? All right. It took me so long to remember it was Kings 11 Punjab, and then they just changed it on me. What's going on here? Let me know in the comments if you know why they changed it. But without any further ado, let's start talking about this team. The Punjab Kings, formerly the Kings 11 Punjab, right? Was that correct? But they were an interesting team, man. They made a very late run after struggling early in the year, and it was due to my boy, the Universe Boss. He thought he was too old to play, and they put him in there, and my man absolutely crushed. Now, their ownership group, probably the most visible person is Priti Zinta. I remember watching her at the auction, man. At every game, it seems she's like beautiful woman, obviously actress, really, really their smart. Coach is famous bowler Anil Kumble. That's right. Famous bowler, former Indian cricket captain as well, Anil Kumble. And man, this team has so much potential, guys. It's not even funny. They had a run. They had a run at the end, and I thought that, man, they were going to be so close to winning it. It didn't happen. But I think that this team can make some serious noise this year. I want to go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to begin with the batsmen, right? You guys all love the ranking and the batsmen. And where else, when we're talking about batsmen, we're going to start but the Universe Boss. Chris Gayle, at 40 years old last year, 41. Maybe that's why I'm so partial to him, because that's how old I am. Went out there and raked cousin. He said, oh, I'm the Universe Boss. And came out the gate, launching 50s. I'm so excited. He's going to be on the West Indies T20 squad as well, trying to get that next T20 championship this year. So a lot of big things happening for the Universe Boss. Next, you got David Malan. This was a huge, when I say huge, guys, massive addition. Malan is an English batsman, and this guy is a savage. I saw him play in the international team against India in this last tour, and Malan went cheap, I think 1.5 crores, that's 210,000. Left-handed batsman, so just like Chris Gayle, you got another left-handed batsman that you can flip-flop. You wouldn't bat him back-to-back, at least I wouldn't. I'd want that separation. But man, Malan is a really exciting addition to this team. I hope he's part of the playing 11. I'll give you my playing 11 at the end. Don't know if that's going to be able to be possible because there's so many international players here, but we'll find out. Next, we got Mayank Agarwal. Agarwal, we saw him last year. He actually played on the test team as well, India's test team, and Agarwal's good. Agarwal's a stud. He had one of the best opening partnerships with KL Rahul. I'm sure he's going to be in there. If I personally would go with because they say Chris Gayle is more comfortable, batting 3, I think it is, or I can't remember, it's batting 2 or batting 3, but I would open up with KL Rahul, probably switch it up with Chris Gayle so I can have them in my opening partnership, then go to Mayank Agarwal, and then David Malan. There you got that righty lefty. That way the other team can't plan for you, and you put the bowling at a disadvantage. All 4 of those guys, in my opinion, need to be in the playing 11. Next, you got Mandeep Singh, another Indian batsman. We've seen him play, very good player. And finally, we got Sarfaraz Khan, who I'm not sure, honestly, is going to be part of the playing 11 because this team is absolutely deep. As far as all-rounders are concerned, I'm going to be a little homer here, and I'm going to start with my West Indies, Fabian Allen. He's a new addition. Just purchased at the auction in 2021, went for 75 lakhs, super cheap. And Fabian Allen, man, he's done some damage in the CPL Fabian Allen has, I'm really excited to see him on this squad. Again, part of the playing 11, I don't know. There's just so much overseas talent. We still haven't even got to Nicholas Baran, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So he may not be a part of the playing 11, but I'm sure he's number 12 if one of those other international players go down. All right. Next up, we got Moses Enriquez. Moses Enriquez from from Australia. So I'm playing the BBL. Man, I tell you what, Enriquez, 34-year-old batsman, all-rounder. He is mainly a pace bowler. Saw him play. I think he's superb. And I think that he will definitely be a big part of this team. Again, the problem is, as an all-rounder, you're probably going to get it's either going to be him or Fabian Allen. Fabian Allen's a spinner, right? So Fabian Allen will be in there whenever the conditions are spin friendly. When they're not, maybe Enriquez. Again, a lot of tough decisions to make. Next up, we got Sabru Kumar. All right, 27-year-old. He is a spin bowler as well, left arm spin bowler. Just a new addition to this team. Never seen him before. We'll see what he does. Deepak Huda, we saw him last year. Honestly, was not too impressed, but hopefully this year we hold better things. He's super young, 25-year-old Indian, right-handed batsman and right arm off-break spinner. Next up, and wow, they got a lot of all-rounders, man. They got Shahrukh Khan. Shahrukh Khan is 25 years old, young guy as well. Shahrukh Khan is also off-break spinner. So they got a lot of spinners. It looks like they're counting on there being a lot of spin this year, even though nobody gets the home games. There's going to be there's only 3 venues, right? So that was a big deal. Punjab Kings is actually one of the teams that push to have this different bubble because other teams were getting home games. Whole bunch of stuff behind that. Next, we got Harpreet Brad. Harpreet Brad, saw him briefly last year. He's a slow-armed left-arm spinner. So, that would help because they got so many right-arm spinner to bring in a left-hand spinner. He's Indian, so you could easily put him in a lineup playing 11. You don't have to worry about your 4 international slots there. So you may see him, 25-year-old, young as well. And then finally, we got Jai Richardson, Australian bowler. Jai Richardson, he is a right arm fast bowler, and this guy can absolutely rake. All right, Jai Richardson can also hit a little bit. Saw him with Australia, and I think he's going to be a big part of this team. He may be part of the playing 11, which again, when you got Nicholas Baran, who's definitely going to be in there, when you got the universe boss, it really limits your what you're going to do. Again, if you put David Milan, then you can't play any of those other guys in there. But that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens and what ownership decides to do. And the last all-rounder I want to talk about, everybody's super excited for this guy, is Jalesh Saxena. This guy holds a record, and in 2015 in the Ranji Trophy, he had the second best bowling figures ever registered. This guy, as an all-rounder, there's a lot of excitement around him. He's an opener for his domestic team, Kerala. I don't think he'd open on this team. Again, you never know, because as an Indian batsman, you can stick him in there, but there's a lot of excitement around this guy, and maybe he makes the play-in 11. Let me know below in the comments what you think about Mr. Saxena. Next, we have our wicket keepers. KL Rahul, the man, the myth, the legend. He struggled a little bit recently in the international team, but he's back in form, and we know how good this guy is. Former orange cap winner, KL Rahul. This guy is going to be opening, and he is going to be doing major damage. Next on the wicket keepers, we have my Nicholas Baran from my West Indies. I love Nicholas Baran. They call him Baby Gale or Chris Gale light. I think this guy's obviously going to be a part of the lineup. Great fielder, can play anywhere. But obviously he's a wicket keeper, and he can go ahead and rotate with KL Rahul behind the wicket so that none of them get wore down too much. And the final wicket keeper we have is Prishman Singh. Prishman Singh, 20-year-old young kid, man. I don't think he's gonna make the playing 11, especially behind KL Rahul and Nicholas Puran as wicket keepers. But hey, you never know. Next up, we have our spin bowlers, our specific spin bowlers. We got Mugarang Ashwin, 30 years old. He is a right-handed leg break spin bowler. And we all know this guy, Ravi Bishnoi. I love Bishnoi. 20 years old. This guy's a baby. I think he'll make the playing 11 for sure. And Bishnoi is so much fun. So much fun. Next up are pace bowlers, and this is where you come into some issues because I'm going to start off with Chris Jordan, the depth specialist. This guy he drove me crazy at times. We, created the Jordan line after him because the guy used to get pumped, right, in overs, but he showed why he's in depth over because he can bowl. He bowled relatively well in India in the last England tour of India. So Chris Jordan is going to be in there. And if he is, then that's going to get a really good person out of the lineup. Me personally, I would not go with Chris Jordan. I know people are going to say, well, Gabe, but you need that, you need that depth specialist. You need that guy bowling in the death overs. But I mean, at the expense of Milan, Chris Gale, which is actually what happened last year. There was no room for Chris Gale. They had too many international players. They waited and they lost like 3 of their first 4 games or something like that. Bring in the universe boss, and he's doing damage. So Chris Gale's not sitting, in my opinion. Neither is David Milan, in my opinion. I think those guys are mainstays. Then you're gonna have Jai Richardson. You gotta have Jai Richardson in there, and Nicholas Puran. That's 4 guys right there. That's 4 guys. Maybe they don't go with Jai Richardson, but I doubt it. I sincerely do as an all-rounder. Maybe that's why they got Saxena, and Saxena will be in there as their main all-rounder. I don't know. It's a good problem to have, though. All right, Chris Jordan, 32-year-old English bowler who can bat a little bit as well, and we know is money sometimes. And the death overs. Rounding up the plan, the pace bowler, we have Muhammad Shami. Muhammad Shami, as you guys know, Muhammad Shami is injured right now. Hopefully he's ready for the beginning of the season, but when this guy is right, he is an absolute savage. Indian right-hand pace bowler. Depth specialist as well. We got Riley Meredith. Riley Meredith, all right, guys, Australian cricketer. Don't think he's going to get in there. He was a new audition in 2021 auction. Again, 8 crores they paid for him, so they paid a lot of money for this guy. Maybe they're going to use him, but again, if you use him, you really cannot use any other international bowler, which means you won't be able to use Chris Jordan. So if you use Riley Meredith in the game, no Chris Jordan, and you're leaving your one of either Milan, the universe boss, Nicholas Puran, and Jai Richardson out. You're going to leave one of those guys out. And that's it's tough, but again, that's why those coaches get paid the big bucks. After that, you got Nishan Parel, 22-year-old Indian right-hand bowler, right-hand fast bowler. Darshan Nalkandi. Darshan Nalkandi last year, we saw him briefly. He did not really get, in my opinion, a big opportunity. Hopefully he will this year. They paid about 3 crores for the guy, so I mean he is not cheap, and hopefully he's able to pick up the slack. And finally, we got Arshdeep Singh. Arshdeep Singh, left-handed, medium fast pace bowler, and he's super young too. Arshdeep Singh is 22 years old. So in my playing 11, it's going to be really tough, but I think that we've got to go with Chris Gale, David Milan, Mayank Agarwal, and Mandip Singh. That's 4 dudes right there. That's 4 dudes right there. And then you're looking at, are we going to put Saxena in there? I know that he just got on the team. They didn't pay much for him, but there's a lot of excitement around this guy. I don't think if you put Fabian Allen, like I said, probably not going to be in the playing 11. If you put Jai Richardson in there, right, as an all-rounder, that means you've already exhausted 3 of your international slots, and that's going to be a problem. All right. So I'm not sure Jai Richardson makes the play in 11. KL Raul obviously is going to be in there. Nicholas Perron is going to be in there. So now we're at what, 6, 7? Bishnoi is going to be in there. Bishnoi and Mohamed Shami is going to be in there. So 8, 9. Chris Jordan, I don't know. Maybe Chris Jordan. We'll see. If Chris Jordan's in there, then you, as a death specialist, you can't have Jai Richardson, or that means you're probably sitting David Milan, which I think would be a huge mistake. And then rounding things up, probably going to go with Nalkandi, as another Indian pace bowler. Guys, those are just my thoughts on this team. Let me tell you, Punjab came really close at the end. And I don't care who was in and out and over the course of the season. I think, the biggest change to this team was when they brought the Universe Boss in. There was just a certain swag about them after that. His first game, the Universe Boss had like 50 runs, guys. You know what I'm saying? It was ridiculous. And he, kept producing for them and kept putting them in a position to succeed. So I think no matter what happens, he has to start the season, if not opening, but definitely in the playing 11 for Kings 11. And yeah, you're going to have to make some decisions around that. You're going to have to make that decision around that. But guys, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick overview. Talked about some of the new guys that are going to be in there. Let me know if you guys are agree with me or disagree with me. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, that's 6 runs.